Year 7, your Wednesday task for you to write down and send to your English teacher. I'm going to teach you a language technique called iambic pentameter and ask you to research the definition of about 6 other language techniques that you can find in Shakespeare. So let's have a quick touch of revision on this word deliberation. Do you remember what it means? It means thinking about something, the thought about something for a long time, or it means the weighing up of a problem. And do you remember how Lady Macbeth ended her husband's deliberation? How she persuaded him to join her in the murder plan? Well, she used rhetorical questions. She questions Macbeth's masculinity and his bravery, and generally encouraged him to try to impress her by committing regicide. And your word for today is syllable. It's a unit of pronunciation having one vowel sound. Iambic pentameter, which I'm about to teach you, is a way of writing which includes 5 stressed syllables in each line. So if the word water has 2 syllables, or inspector has 3 syllables, how many syllables are there in your name? So think about your name and count how many syllables are there. Matthew. Elizabeth would have 4. And let's look at these synonyms then. Which one means deliberation? A, movement, B, sensing, or C, considering? Which of those is a synonym for deliberation? I'm sure you answered correctly. So today we're going to define language terms, in particular iambic pentameter, and you're going to Google the rest. So what does iambic mean? Well, it's to do with metrical feet, or it's to do with the number of the length of rhythm in a poem. So it's the metrical foot of one unaccented, then accented syllable. So water wouldn't actually have 2 syllables if you're talking in an iambic way. It's the first syllable is unstressed, so it would be water rather than water. So the stress would be on the second, the accent would be on the second syllable. Pentameter basically means there are 5 of them, or 5 stressed and unstressed syllables. At the end of Macbeth's last speech, when he left him on the battlements, he said, "Away and face the hour with fairest show. False face must hide what thee false heart doth know." I've read it in that strange way because I wanted to show that both of those lines can be read with 5 stressed and unstressed syllables. For example, false face must hide what the false heart doth know. And Lady Macbeth also says, "But screw your courage to the sticking place." You'll notice when you read this play that it's only the characters of the higher social status that use iambic pentameter. Their speech is structured, it's educated, and they can control their thoughts and their language. When a character has been really decisive, he uses rhyming verse as well. So iambic means foot, pentameter means 5 of them. When lines of text are written in iambic pentameter, they have 5 feet, composed of 1 stressed and 1 unstressed syllable. A lot of actors will not read Shakespeare in iambic pentameter, but it's important that you can recognize when Shakespeare's doing it. He starts each line with a capital letter, and you can read each line in 5 beats. In very basic terms, it's 5 beats per line. And I'm sure there isn't an English teacher out there who hasn't said "dee-dum, be-dum, dee-dum, be-dum, be-dum," that my keen knife see not the wound it makes. You see how the lines can be read as in 5 beats. Iambic pentameter is also known as blank verse. It's verse. It's called verse because it reads as if it's a poem or a song lyric because they have capital letters at the start. And it's blank verse because there's no rhyme. When characters are being decisive, or when they've finished deliberating, or when they want to show their authority, they will use rhyming verse or a rhyming couplet or a couple of rhyming lines. And when the characters are lower class, for example, the porter, he'll speak in prose, which reads like a modern day English novel. There's no structure in it because these are the characters who don't have as much verbal control. So characters of a lower social status use a different technique called prose. So we would like you to Google or write down if you know the definitions of these phrases: caesura, dramatic irony, enjambment, euphemism, iambic pentameter, metaphor, and soliloquy. Those are going to be familiar in part, I imagine. We'd like you to email us with your definition of each, and that was your task for today. Talk to you soon.